Hey team, welcome back to Entertaining Interviews. You've caught us on a bonus episode. That is because we're not in the Plastic Groove studios, though we do have the celebrity couch. And let's see who's on that couch today.
Hello everyone, I'm Rich Turner, local filmmaker and founder of the New Zealand Filmmakers Collective.
Cool, so you mentioned the New Zealand Filmmakers Collective just recently. Do you want to explain a little bit about what that does?
Absolutely. So the collective is a national film community which is dedicated to connecting filmmakers from the top of the north to the bottom of the south. And it's really as a platform for people to share their work, advertise jobs, because it's a big thing about feeding into the industry and making sure that as filmmakers we are getting work. A producing network as well is a really big thing. So if they're posting for help, you can find it on the collective. And there's definitely going to be a bit more focus as to the group's direction. So we're looking to do a bit more tutorials, spotlights on local filmmakers across the country, and just all things film related, basically. Yeah.
So obviously you're no stranger to the film industry. Seeing a couple of cameras in front of your face might be a little bit different because you're a filmmaker rather than an actor, aren't you?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about some of the projects that you've been involved in, like besides the collective?
Yeah. So I'm an independent filmmaker, and in New Zealand it sometimes means wearing many different hats. So for me, my journey is art department, producing, first AD, and of course directing. I think with most New Zealand filmmakers, there's an element of directing in their personal journey. And I've been lucky enough to have done a couple of short films. I've won a couple of awards for one film in particular. But I guess the projects I've been working on recently and the films that I've worked on are very drama focused. I was very fortunate to be in a position to produce one of the Toi Whakaari final films with some amazing people, amazing talented students and professional filmmakers. I had the privilege of working with Brian Gray Smith, who is one of the directors for Waru, on a short film called Crystal, with the incredible Ginny Law, who's the DOP. And Bryce has had some amazing success with her films. I think she's working on something at the moment. I won't say the name just in case it's all under the radar or hush hush. But I mean, for me, contributing to other people's productions has been the focus for probably the last 18 months. Definitely got ideas in my head for projects that I do want to do. But I think recently it's just been helping other people and getting their projects and ideas across the line. It's important for me to try and encourage other filmmakers to get them where they go, and from there I kind of upskill myself as well.
Talking to you and whatnot for the last little bit, especially with setting up and stuff, I have not sensed a Kiwi accent. Do you want to talk about a little bit about your upbringing, where you're from?
Rumbled, yeah. I'm not a native New Zealander. I wasn't born here. I'm a Brit. I'm from Southampton, Portsmouth area, so South England. Came over here when I was 17 years old, so a few years now. Came to Wellington with basically the hope to be a part of the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit, as most people did. You know, I left just after Return of the King was released, and it's just one of those movies that just kind of blew your mind. And when the folks basically broke it to the family that were moving to New Zealand, and being an aspiring filmmaker myself, given the choice to stay in the UK or come to New Zealand, I was like, right, I'm going to go to New Zealand. And at first it's kind of hard, but this is where I would definitely call home. You know, England's a great place for people who want a different kind of culture shock or for work, especially in the film industry. It's one of those checklist places. But New Zealand's definitely home.
So you were talking about, all these film jobs and stuff that you've done before, obviously with the collective, and you've got your own stuff, and you've worked with others and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, it hasn't stopped there. You're now working at Weta, and as a technician, I believe. What does that involve?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And it's been a journey. to get to that. Interesting thing about that path is when I first moved to New Zealand, I was in this period where I wasn't sure about university, so I worked. I worked in Mighty 10 on Tory Street at the time, and what I used to do is I used to flick through the yellow pages. That's when people used yellow pages, you know. So I flicked through the yellow pages, and I used to call up all the film studios, trying how to find a way to get in. And I wanted to be in the art department. I wanted to do special effects or monsters or props, something like that. And eventually I called Weta a couple of times, and they got to a point where it's like, Rich, you got to stop calling, bro. And I found out, and they were good about it. They were like, yeah, keep doing your thing. But someone mentioned that Richard Taylor was going to be doing a press release for Prince Caspian in a bookshop just at Lambton Quay in Wellington. So I went there after work with a sketchbook in my bag and hidden Dimmocks, and which was the bookshop. They closed it, so I'm hiding in the back, and this is all the journey of how Weta came to be, you know. But I'm sitting in the back with my sketchbooks, and Richard Taylor comes in, and they do the talk about, you know, 10 lights back on. They do the talk about Prince Caspian, and it gets to a point where he invites people for questions. So I pop out at the back of the bookstore with my sketchbook, and I think I had a Stan Winston special effects book, so the guy who did Aliens and stuff like that. And I went up to Richard Taylor and was like, how do I get you a job? Like, straight up to him. And he was like, you've got to do 3 things. You've got to go to University of Canterbury. Don't know why that one, but he said it. And study film or sculpture. So I went and studied film, get an area of expertise. So I went to Pinewood Studios and learned set design and drafting. And the third one is probably the most important, was to persevere. So I did all of that, finished university, did Pinewood training, and then I got to Weta. I found out his assistants, and I emailed him, said, hey, I've done everything that Richard's told me to do. This is some of my work. And I just kept staying in the loop, trying to find my way in there. And eventually, after some time, after a couple of years, man, they said there was a position going in this particular department I'm in. And the interview process was awesome. Like, it was an amazing, inspiring place to work, and I'm very fortunate to work there. It's really cool. But it's been a journey, you know, and it's a testament to anyone that wants to work for like Weta or a big art department, prop house, special effects house. It's like, never be disheartened. Like, these places are hard to get into, but when you're into, like, it's awesome.
I saw that you work for a company called Black Lantern. Kind of what's your role there, and what is Black Lantern?
Yeah, so yeah, Black Lantern's actually my baby with my partner Samantha Wag. Black Lantern is our film and VFX, I guess, company. In fact, it is exactly what it is. It's a VFX and film company, and predominantly we're doing a lot of VFX for a couple of web series overseas, and it's giving us the platform to do science fiction and start our own little post-production house, and have content that I've written or produced under one kind of flag. And it's exactly that. It's our film and VFX house, our production studio. It's our business, and we're really hoping for it to grow. It's got us a bit of work recently, and we're getting quite busy, which is awesome. But I'd like to see it grow into a position or a company where we can start having employees and regular contracts for even bigger films. And then who knows, you know, it might aspire and grow to be a big production house. That's what we want.
So you were a finalist for filmmaker for Moth into Flame. Now, what is filmmaker and what's Moth into Flame?
Yeah, cool. So I guess, well, Moth to the Flame was a fantasy pilot episode that we made as part of filmmaker.com, which is an international website / I guess distribution or developing distribution entity. And what they do is they put a call out for competitions, scripts, docos, and they select X amount of people to be in a position to make a pilot, and that pilot, if successful, will become a web series. And I guess the intention is you make the web series that they pay for, and then they sell it, and there's a distribution deal where they get X amount and you get a royalty. I don't know. But we were one of four teams, only New Zealand team, only Southern Hemisphere team actually, to be selected for, I guess it's like the semi-finals. So our script got selected. Four teams across the world were given X amount of money to make a pilot, and then we shot it and submitted it, and alas, we didn't win. We did get the most views though, I will say that. We actually lost out to a really talented film writer and director, a guy called Jeff Myers, who through Black Lantern we're working with on the web series. So even though we didn't win the overall competition for our entry, despite having considerably more international views and being the only Southern Hemisphere team, we are still involved with the final with the winner. So that's that. But filmmaker, I definitely suggest to anyone watching this, if they're wanting to check out filmmaker.com, go for it, see what it's about. It's not for everyone. People have their own opinions about online competitions and where their content goes, but we were just doing it for fun, on the whim, weren't expecting to get anything from it. But it's a cool way of getting some of your work at least partially funded to make something.
What inspired you to become a model maker, and what do you kind of make?
I guess what inspired me to do model making, or in my particular case, is more props. It's just, I just really enjoy making things that I really can't afford to buy online. And when you find out how things are done, one, building it, the enjoyment of it is awesome. Two, you can usually make 5 for the price of 1 if you buy it. Growing up as a kid as well, had a crazy imagination, always used to play Space Marine or spaceships or soldiers. So I always used to raid my dad's garage and make like laser guns and backpacks and whatever I could find, smoke pellets, and like pretend I'm running through landmines with fake guns I've made out of some pipe and a torch. But I guess, I'm making props and models is, I do it for the enjoyment, and it's just really relaxing. And it means that I can build up props for films and other projects for me or for other people for like relatively little to no money, because it's expensive, when you buy these things online.
So we've managed to learn a lot about the life of Rich Turner, and it's been fantastic actually getting to sit here and talk to you about everything. What can we expect going forward from you?
Going forward with me, like, I'm a filmmaker through and through. Like, this is not a job, this isn't a hobby, it's actually a lifestyle. So as long as there's air in my lungs and blood in my veins, I'm always going to be making something or being a part of something. For me, in terms of projects, I guess there's a couple bubbling away that I want to do, while another project that I've been working on is going through some big channels, and hopefully some awesome news, for me and for everyone that might be involved early next year, as to what's happening with a project that I shot about 18 months ago. But in the meantime, just working on lots of short films, maybe working with some more colleagues and trying to make just regular content. I think it's really important to make things little and often, even if it's just a scene. As long as you're always making something, and maybe in every film you're doing something different. So that, I guess that's kind of my goal in the next, and at least end of the year, just make a couple more short films, maybe some zombie short films, because everyone loves zombies. Maybe some dystopian, climate change, nuclear holocaust, drama piece, cannibals. Who knows? But I definitely will be making something. Yeah.
previously we were talking about Moth to the Flame.
Yeah.
What if there's people out there like myself that be keen to see that pilot? Is it available to watch?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a number of ways you can check out Moth to the Flame. You can go on filmmaker.com and just simply type up Moth to the Flame, or go through their gallery. We welcome anyone to go onto the Facebook page for Black Lantern. You'll see some of our content there as well. And you'll also be able to find it on our Vimeo channel. So just type up Black Lantern Film and VFX and you'll be able to find it there. And hey, just remember to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to Lexa Dixon.
Now, if you want to see me take season 3 on the road, potentially in Auckland, where I have some awesome contacts, then jump over to our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/entertaininginterviews. And around that page, you will see a link on how you can support this channel to be able to make that happen. Hopefully you enjoyed Entertaining Interview Season 2. We had a whole ball of fun filming it. Once again, huge shout out to Tony McDonald from Plastic Groove for the venue and also for the audio engineering, one of our major sponsors, and our other major sponsor, Tim Simpson from Nitro Film, for sponsoring us with gear. So, like I said, jump over to our Facebook page, check it out, jump in and help us out, take Season 3 on the road, and hopefully we'll be seeing you guys again very soon.